की आमी ट्रॅफिक सिग्नल्स पेड्यां जंक्शनाक घायला आनी इतले दिसाक ते सिग्नल आसात म्हूण स्टार्ट केलें ना. आमी स्टार्ट केलें ना कित्याक आमचे म्हापशा ट्रॅफिक सेलाचें ऑब्जेक्शन आशिल्लें, कित्याक ते सिंक्रोनायझेशना पासत. सिंक्रोनायज म्हणल्यार टायमींग, आनी ते टायमींग ते म्हणटाले 8 सिग्नल बसयले देखून 8 मिनटाचे एक मिनटां थांबयले जाल्यार 8 मिनटां जातले आनी 8 मिनटां म्हणल्यार सामकें लांब ट्रॅफिक जॅम जातले, लायन जातले आनी तेंचेर ही ऑब्जेक्शन आशिल्लें. आनी थोडे इश्यू पासून दुसरे आशिल्ले अबावट वन वे आनी सगळे देखून हांवें कितें डिसायड केलें, आमी फकत पिंग पॉंग जातालें. आमी उलयताले, ते सांगताले, ते प्रपोज दिताले, आमी सांगताले. हांवें चिंतलो की द बेस्ट रेजोल्यूशन कॅन बी बाय द डिस्ट्रिक्ट मॅजिस्ट्रेट हू इज द कलेक्टर. सो देन आय स्पोक टू कलेक्टर, asked for that appointment, and with all the agencies we have come here, the traffic cell, the Mapsa police traffic, the national highway, the RTO, the municipality. I had also informed Joshua, honorable MLA and deputy speaker, but he is out of the country, is returning back today. So we all had the meeting also with the residents who are being affected, and the meeting went very well. And the collector understood the issue, and the collector also understood the perspective of the traffic cell. So आता आमी हांव तो कट शॉर्ट करता, फकत आमी आता डिसिजन कितें घेयला तें तुमकां सांगता. डिसिजन घेयला की आता ट्रॅफिक लायट आहात तेका सप्लाय दिवपाचो आनी स्टार्ट करपाचो ऑन अ ट्रायल बेसीस. कित्याक ट्रायल बेसीस? स्टार्ट करता आसतना थोडे हिंगा थिंगा एडजस्टमेंट करूं पडटा. सो एडजस्टमेंट करून मागीर आमगे बसता तेन्ना मागीर फायनल टेस्टिंग करपाचें, इन्स्पेक्शन करून मागीर आमी चिंतले फुडें कितें व्हरपाक. सो आय थिंक दीस इज अ गूड बिगिनींग दॅट वी कॅन ट्राय टू स्टार्ट. हांव जाणा सगळे हॅपी आसनात म्हूण, कित्याक थोडे बेजार जातले, बट इट इज फॉर द ग्रेटर गूड ऑफ एवरी वन. इट इज पीपल कमिंग फ्रॉम Mapsa side into Pede side, or people from Pede, Kamarkaza, Akoi coming across this side. So on both sides, I think this will be a major relief, and it will also, in my view, reduce slightly the burden of the Mapsa traffic police cell. Kidak asa zalyar esko signal azalyar, then you have less traffic police, and it has to be less monitoring of it, except on signal तोडटा तो तेका दवरपाचो. So I think that this will be. There is also one thing which they have informed, that there is some illegal encroachment onto the road, which municipality official was present, because the matters before municipality has agreed to quickly check into it and take immediate action. So there should not be any encroachment on the highways or the roads. And Supreme Court even has said in this bulldozer justice judgment, which you know, the famous one, they have said that this will not apply to the matters where there are encroachments on public streets and all this. But I still feel whoever it is, give a notice and remove them. So I think, but there in this case, that the encroacher was already given notice. I don't know why the municipality was dragging over this for more than 1 year, and they can immediately pass final order and have it removed. No court will give a stay to any encroacher on public road. So I'm glad that we have been able to manage to move forward, and I do hope that everything can work out. Kitia part 2 amche kite, we are having VOP, which is vehicular overpass. Vehicular overpass will come up at the Peden junction. On Peden junction or Sarzalia junction, there's going to be an overpass over it. So you understand how it will work. So that will remain there, and there will be an overpass over it. So that has already been announced by the Union Minister for Roads, and the DPR is being prepared. Once that gets approved, we will have that tendered and the work will commence. I hope that will commence by soon after the monsoons. I hope that the whole work can commence. So I think this is a major victory for us, and I think it's for the people of Mapsa, both sides of the thing, because Suzana Peden junction पासून आमचे भुरगे येतात फेडपाक, आवय बापूय वतात, आमचे हे सायडीनसून इस्कलाक वतात, हॉस्पिटलां वतात, एम्ब्युलन्स येतात, लोकांक त्रास जाता देखून. So I'm glad that this has worked out a little bit to the satisfaction. We will see how far it can go after the trial.
So हे जे सिग्नल तुम्ही आता यूज करता ट्रायल बेसिस, this will not happen like Mercy, no?
So some inconvenience is bound to happen. You can't say that the moment you put a stop, lines are touched. But it is not like kon tamna anting accident zata. Please understand this. If you try to do, everybody cannot be made happy, as I said in the beginning. There is somewhere somebody has to suffer some inconvenience. आम्ही स्पीड ब्रेकर गायल्लो थिंगा तुम्ही जाणा ते रंबलर आशिल्ले मागीर कोण बोबाड केला आमकां न्हीद पडना आमगे आवाज येता डाडा डाडा येता म्हण आनी तो रंबलर काडलो मागीर गाडी फास्ट येवपाक लागली आनी मागीर थिंगाय प्रॉब्लम जावपाक लागलो सो these accidents which were not happening before started happening though we didn't have major accidents. And if you look very carefully, accidents happened before that junction, after the junction, except one accident few days back, two people trying to go at the same time, one got jammed into the other, but no fatality. So this kind of things which happen, maybe one stray case which may have happened, but otherwise generally we have not had fatal accidents at the junction. But we should not wait for it to happen. Our remedy should not be accident zalo bridge padlo magi samko roitle bridge. It's not like that. So poile we should take care, and then we can get a solution in the better interest and the good interest of all.
So 8 minutes time here is better to reduce?
Yeah, it will not be 8 minutes, so I will tell you also. That's why the traffic cell, the NH division, the RTO, and they will all work. These are in the enforcement agencies will work to ensure the synchronization will be of lesser duration, and they have that system. They are experts. They know where you can release the traffic. Sometimes you allow the traffic to go, let us say, coming from district hospital, going right down to Karaswada. You will allow that free flow. Why would that be blocked? But no crossing over. You understanding? So this way, I think there can be a solution which can go. See, because one or two people get upset, one or two people get worked up. It's not this thing where you stop the entire city is sent to ransom or the state is held to ransom. But I think they also, whoever have these issues, I think they will look at it in a broader perspective, and because many people are all cooperative with me. I'll tell you this. Even those who are residing there, all asking, please do something, otherwise it's becoming like a nonsense. In the Magi Oitas, it's very easy to take a video, but you don't know what runs behind and the problems which we are facing every day for Park.
So when can this be done?
The moment they get the electric connection, they will inform the authorities and they will start it. One request the DYSP, Sandesh Shudankar, has made has been start the trial initially on a non-busy day, like a Saturday, Sunday, so that it should not have that we are stuck up with all this when you're doing on a busy day. So you start there and then continue. So we have decided that it should be like a 4-5 days trial, and then we will review how it's going. Thank you.
So what do you think about the community timing?
So in the respect of educational institutions, I think that the government is very sadly playing with the future of educational institutions, and I think this is completely wrong. Today what we hear is they are not only changing the timings of the institution, classes, but they are also changing the starting date to say that educational institutions will start the academic year from April. As far as the timing is concerned, in the NCF, Assembly Noloille, that there is a 29 hours per week schedule, and they are making it 39 hours. That is very contrary to your NEP framework. So I think this is wrong, and according to me, this will be detrimental to the working of the teachers, the staff, and the institution as a whole. Secondly, as far as timing of the school is concerned, why is the department in so much a hurry? Have they done a study? Have you taken your stakeholders into confidence? Have you taken the views of parents and teachers and students? You look at it, our academic year used to start in June. Why? There was a reason. Because we have a summer. The summers are very hot, and it is impossible. We don't have AC classrooms. So it's very impossible to have this classrooms filled up and students attending during April and May, very unbearable heat which is here. So starting classes in April and you're running through the monsoon and then going on to the next year will again not only affects this curriculum and the teaching, but also affects the student mental intake. And I think this is completely wrong. What they could have done is, what I feel they should have done is, they should have announced it now that we propose to have it and get everybody's next year. And they should have said we propose to have it next year and get a feedback. Directly now you're saying that it's like today, day after tomorrow we will implement. How is it possible? Which means now in January, end of January, you're saying that from April we are starting. Where are the teachers ready? I'm sure that parents, I'm guaranteed आवय बापून तेंगे हॉलिडे प्लॅनिंग केलें आसतलें भुरग्यांक व्हरपाक हॉलिडे हांव जाणा भुरग्यां पासून प्लॅनिंग केलें आसतलें केसो कोर्सीस करपाक ड्युरींग समर ब्रेक नाल्यार खूंय भायर वचपाक फ्रेंडां कडेन आज सगळें कास्ट करूंक पडटलें एंड इज दीस डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एड्युकेशन सो इनसेन्सिटीव इन उत्तर प्रदेश even in Bihar I've seen that the educational system has followed things in a much better way of following NEP. I am repeating, we are not opposing NEP, we are opposing the style of implementation of the NEP. It looks like there is one man who must be dictating this how to do it, one man who sits in his house who must be dictating how you should do it. He doesn't think of other factors. It is only his way and nobody else's way. This is the way it has to be done. And the government is accepting it. Why should it be? So you have to take everybody into confidence. And I think the government should defer this, the timing. We don't have time actually in the assembly to bring up this issue because only one day. Which one shall we take up? Breaching of bonds of cash for job scam? Should we take up every other scam which is coming? And in the middle this also? So it's very difficult for us in one day to try to all of a jump on the government on one issue. But this is what the government should be sensitive to. And I think when they remember one thing, I look at it even as a lawyer when I defend the government. The government sits on a higher level. It doesn't look at an individual level. So you should, even if an individual gives a proposal, however good your friend may be, you look at a proposal from entire perspective and then you consider implementation or non-implementation or modification or implementation with a modification. But I think this speed will kill, and will kill not just educational institutions, but will also kill the education itself.
So one more thing, what is going to say about the uniform, college students?
You see, there are two ways of looking at it. One is, when you have a college, this thing, you have kind of a discipline, they say, but you are not school kids. Remember, in school you are kids. Therefore, when you are in school and you are having a uniform, I think that is proper because it identifies with your school and it shows, suppose you are bunking class, you are there, a child in uniform somewhere outside, or maybe lost, maybe kidnapped, we don't know what could happen. At least there is something which can alert or we can get the child back on track. But when it comes to college, you are at a responsible level. The child is a little more mature. The child is taking decisions what course to follow, and the child has an independent sense of thinking. And at that time, if you are going to restrict them first with their first, you know that food habits, were trying to give food, you are trying to control. Now you are going to control uniform, then you are going to control what they talk. Everything is going to be like this, controlled by his master's voice. So I think that putting a uniform, I don't think is, you see, when you are speaking of free thought, there are people, you see, sometimes I look at certain people and I can identify he's an artist. He must be a painter, he must be a musician. By just looking, and you know why, you can identify. Because that kind of thing comes out naturally. And that is why, what they want to be, what they have to, this thing. I can understand you can put like a dress code, like in a church and a temple. Don't wear something which is like, scandalous. I can understand that part of it. Don't wear some minis, or don't come in hot shorts and all this kind of thing. That you can put those kind of things. But other thing than that, if you tell them like a decent clothing is required, then I don't think there should be a compulsion for uniforms.
Thank you. One last question.
The law and order situation, unfortunately, is deteriorating day by day. And I think this is affecting us across the spectrum, not just for giving a bad name to Goa as a very hospitable state, welcoming state, but it's also affecting our tourism. the government of Goa claims that tourism footfall has increased. But the first question I always ask is, we just had an exposition, and Honorable Minister Alice Sequeira was on record to say that we had 85 lakh pilgrims footfall for San Francisco Xavier exposition. If that is the case, do you count those as tourists or do you exclude them? Number two, having these fights, murders in the beach shacks or street brawls with tourists. And I have spoken in assembly, what type of tourists we are getting are third-class tourists. Please understand, the good tourists are going away and the good ones who are coming are saying we don't want to come again. I don't like to talk about it because when I talk it will have a negative impact, and that's why I have refrained. But enough is enough. If we don't talk, people are saying, why are you not saying anything? Why don't you expose what is going on? And the government needs corrective measures. Today you have changed the director of tourism. Why? I think the Minister of Tourism has to go home. It's the only way that you will get it, because it's going down slide, it's not going any way up slide. So you're understanding what I'm saying. It's not that I have any personal agenda here, but please understand, if you feel that the director should have gone, it's like even in this escape of that Suleiman, why only constables and police inspectors, the head should roll. The Superintendent of Police should go home first. He should be suspended. So in the same way I say, I always will target, man on the top should also accept responsibility for what goes down there. And you can't just sit cozily on the chair watching the decline and going to tourism going down the drain. Look at the women. Women are being assaulted. You heard of this gang rape of a mentally unsound woman. What Beti Bachao or Beti Padhao, you're talking about it, and there's no safety for women. This is not just one solitary instance of women being attacked. There are many. I don't want to talk about them, but this is a sad state of affairs. I know parents who tell me that we are very worried of our children going to Goa, and please can you send someone to look after them. I don't want to send someone putting like spies behind their children. Let them have a good holiday, but at the same time it is a concern that when they are having this, what would happen in future to their children and what would happen. That is why we are getting the kind of tourists who are coming in treks. I have said this in assembly, treks kind of tourism we're getting. They're coming in loads there, cooking on the roadside, probably using the roadside as toilet also. We don't want these tourists. Please let them go home. This is not this thing. We have no revenue income from them. They don't contribute. They bring even sack of rice and they bring all their vegetables and they cook from there only and they go away. We don't want this kind of tourists. We want good tourists. We want quality tourists. And when Congress was there, you remember, we had good charters coming. We had international tourists coming. Now you may have some additional charters which have added, but that is nothing to restore the pre-COVID time of international tourists which we had and coming. See, it's a complete, you see the government owes a collective responsibility, and with the Chief Minister at the head. So the Chief Minister is holding the home portfolio. I think the Chief Minister is overburdened with too many portfolios. Right from PWD to the Home Ministry, to you name, and everything coming under him. I'm wondering whether he's able to do justice to it. This is what is happening. And all down there are having a free run. And it's only when we are pointing out, then you are going to take action. No. There has to be a kind of a discipline in every department, under every ministry. And then you will have accountability, responsibility, and prompt deliverance. That is all what the citizens want.